Well, Georgia Tech fans, your Super Bowl is here. Miami in Atlanta at your house. I hope that you have enjoyed the hype and excitement this week leading up to the game, because I don't believe that you're going to be too happy with the end result. We're going to take a few minutes here and just talk about my final thoughts going into this game. And I want you to sound off down in the comment section below. This is your last chance to speak your piece and talk about this game before kickoff. Well, not too long from now. It's not too far off. Tomorrow at noon, your boy Coop going to be struggling. Them noon kickoffs, man, that's rough for me. And by the way, just real quick, we are going wireless for this one, hands-free, because I wanted to be able to, do some unique things. Maybe throw up one of these, or we could do this, or some of these. Okay, maybe scratch that last part. YouTube's been a little upset with us. We've been cursing more than ever before, throwing up middle fingers to opposing teams' fans, but I can't help myself. We're having too much freaking fun this season. The Canes are 9-0, undefeated, and planning on staying that way after playing this Georgia Tech team. Now, going into this one, it's frustrating a little bit as a fan, because I'm waiting for Miami to just beat the brakes off of an ACC team. And I understand that, they manhandled Florida State, with the ground game, won by 22. That's still a pretty large victory. And then, Duke ended up being a decent win as well. It was just way too close for comfort until the fourth quarter. So I want to believe that Miami can come out and play a complete game and just crush this Georgia Tech team, a team that only has 5 wins right now. We're talking about a Yellow Jackets squad that is fighting for bowl eligibility. But we can't, underestimate a team with their backs against the wall, a team that has a returning Haynes King, a quarterback that I'm not going to play. This guy is good. When he's out there playing, completing, 71.2% of his passes, he can pick you apart, but he's also a dual threat guy. He's rushed for 8 touchdowns. He's playing behind an offensive line that's full of veterans. This guy has only been sacked 1 time this season. That's insane. And, I know that he missed 2 games. He didn't play against Virginia Tech or Notre Dame, and it showed. Georgia Tech lost both of those games. Heck, they couldn't even score a touchdown in the Virginia Tech game. So they've really needed Haynes King back, and they appear to have him back. But my real question here is, how well will he play, since he's been dealing with a sprained shoulder? And not just any shoulder, his throwing shoulder. We all know that Miami is going to give up points. And that's why it's so hard for me to believe that Miami can play a 4-quarter game on both sides of the ball, because the defense is going to give up some explosive plays. And the unfortunate part going into this game is expect to see a lot of motion from Georgia Tech. Pre-snap motion, they do this a lot. And it's not just the Miami game, it's just something they already do. And we know that's scary for Miami, because we tend to get a little lost in the sauce. Guys look confused, and it's a big problem. And Georgia Tech knows that. They've been watching the film, and they like to throw a lot of screen passes, and Miami's struggled with tackling, giving up a lot of yards after the catch as well. So it is realistically still a dangerous game, especially with Haynes King out there, assuming that he's 100%. If their running back Jamal Haynes is good to go. They like Rutherford a lot and some of their other receivers. But I still have, at the end of the day, in my opinion, I still have Miami winning big, 42-21. And this is absolutely a big win when you take into account that Miami's favored by 10.5 the last time I checked. So I'm at double that. And I expect that you will probably see Miami take a lot of deep shots in this game. I think this is one of those air it out type of situations. Tell me if you agree or disagree on that. Now, obviously, you take what the defense gives you. If it's a Florida State situation, you run the ball more. But I don't think that's going to be the case this week against Georgia Tech. I think you're going to see a Cam Ward at 350-plus passing yards and 4 touchdowns type of game. That's what I'm thinking. I think that Miami airs it out. They kind of lean into that side of the game. And it's probably going to be one of those situations where it's probably tied going into halftime, or heck, Miami might even be down. And it's your typical cardiac Canes first half, Miami adjustment takeover in the second half. I would love to see more real-time adjustments happening, but maybe that's why I'm a couch coach. I'm not out there on the field. It's easier said than done, I know. But it's the defense continues to dig a little bit of hole for this team, but I do trust that the offense can get it done. Everybody says defense wins championships. Obviously, it'd be helpful. It'd be great if they could pick it up a little bit, but it's probably not going to happen. This is game number 10 on the season, so we know what this Miami team is, and it's all about putting up points. And I just don't believe that Georgia Tech can limit Miami's offense. I just don't think it's going to happen. Not right. Even if Miami's defense does give up some plays, just like we've seen week in and week out, they need to do just enough. Get the ball back into Cam Ward's hands. The only hope really for Georgia Tech is to win the time of possession and limit the amount of times Miami's offense has the ball. I also think that we might see some big special teams play from Miami in this one, because let's be real, Georgia Tech special teams play on their side has been piss poor. It's been really bad. So, hey, Miami might block a field goal. You might see a punt return for a touchdown. I'm thinking big special teams afternoon for the Canes. It will be interesting because, this is obviously the number one offense in the country in multiple categories. Miami is number one in third down conversions and fourth down conversions. Georgia Tech has a phenomenal third down defense. They are stopping teams on third down, but that's what I heard last week against Duke with Manny's defense. And Miami ended up winning big, you could say, in the end, by the time the fourth quarter rolled around and that clock was at 0. So I'm confident, but I'm a little cautious on the first half as always. And the whole payback revenge for the knee thing, as much as I'm going to harp on it and I'm going to continue to talk about it, let's be real, that's more of a fan thing, right? Like Cam Ward wasn't even on the team last year when they had the whole knee thing happen. So it's not like it's extra personal for him. It's just a normal, regular game. Go 1-0, win this week. And there are some players that were on the squad that I'm sure were agitated about it. Chaney's not there anymore, and he's the one who did he fumble or did he not fumble? I'm sure it's personal a little for Mario in the back of his mind, but you don't want to let that get to you. You come out and you play. This is a different year. It's a new season. It's just personal for the fans, because we are a little sick and tired of opposing teams' fans, dangling that over our head. No matter what Miami accomplishes this year, hey, you didn't take that knee in 2023, ha ha ha. And it gets old. It gets old. But hey, what do they have when Miami is undefeated, right? They're going to go to attendance jokes. They're going to go to the past. Something that I thought we were accused of doing. We're guilty of doing that. Talking about your dusty old rings and what Miami has done way long ago in the 480p era, 240p on YouTube, And now all they're doing is reaching for things in the past. I want to talk about what's relevant, which is right now, 2024. And let me know what you think. I've talked about this all week. Do you want Miami to take a knee in this game? Do you want them to go victory formation and take that knee? If, let's say, there's 30 seconds left in the game, Miami has the final possession, they're up 20-plus points, or, this is so greedy and selfish, or do you want Mario Cristobal to call a run play up the gut just to stick it to Brent Key and this Georgia Tech team? Because everybody's waiting to see. That's what everybody's talking about. Miami Hurricanes take the knee this time against Georgia Tech. Or does Miami say we are not bending the knee? Just as a little extra frick you, I don't know. You tell me if I'm crazy. The smart thing is to take a knee. I know. And again, it's just really the fans. It's the fans that are focused on the knee thing, not the team, not the coaching staff. It's part of being a fan. You know, we're not going to let that go. But I got Miami winning big, bro. I'm going to ride that roller coaster ride that is a college football game. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but I just don't think that Georgia Tech can hang. What I really want to see is, given the fact that King has not been sacked more than one time this season behind that veteran O-line, I want to challenge this team to see 4+ sacks in this one. That's right. I'm serious. I said it. 4+ sacks. Set the tone, take care of business, and maybe, even though I'm not necessarily predicting that, maybe play a full 4-quarter game on both sides of the ball and just beat the brakes off this team. Stomp a mud hole in them in Atlanta. Empty out Bobby Dodd Stadium in the third quarter. Send them home. If any of their fans even show up, because they've won 5 football games.